Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm Courtney,
And I'm MK.
and how are ya?
I am pretty good. We
Excellent.
had it has officially been a full week back to school, um, which is wild. I have like my five core classes. I only hate one of them.
Ooh, 1 out of 5's not bad.
Yeah. And then in one of the other classes, I hate one.
Shh, that's fine.
That's fine.
They'll be your favorite by the end of the year.
No, it's one of my
No?
ones from last. No, it's one of my ones
Oh,
from last year too. I already know he's not gonna grow on me.
sucks.
He sucks. Um, but my but yeah, so it's been interesting. It's weird because like now that I have my own room, I don't see Chrissy and Kate all day every day, and so like
Oh,
I hate
that's a
it.
bummer.
That is like the worst part. Like every time we pass each other in the hall, we're like, why? Um, but yeah, it's going. There is nothing like the first week of back to school exhausted though. Like you don't even realize how like exhausting it is also like to do nothing. Like
Yeah.
we had 4 days of school last week. The first day was just like a hey, here's your schedule. This is what our class is going to be like. This is what we're going to read. Blah blah blah. Like welcome back to school. How was everybody's summer? Right.
Yeah.
Second day, I had to take all my classes to the back to school assembly. And then the third and fourth day, my school does this thing where they have connection days where we have like modified schedules so that we can have community time. Um,
That sounds thrilling.
Last year, everyone moved to a different location. So your community time was not with your class, it was with people that you didn't know. So, like, it was an actual community bonding. Too many people just like left their second period class and never showed up at the connection group because, of course, they did. Like, I'm not surprised. I didn't even go sometimes. There was four teachers in my group. And
Right.
they when I didn't go, they knew, at least one of them knew I wasn't coming. It wasn't like I just didn't go. Um, but this year, because of that, they're staying in their second period class. So I have 40 minutes with these kids and then another like 30 minutes of community time with the same kids I just had. And by the way, I teach ENL, so all of these kids have been in the same classes forever because they have to be.
That
There's
makes
there's
no
no
sense.
community bonding. They don't give a single shit. But we had to do two community days last week.
That's so wild.
Yeah. Um, and I also worked at Shays 2 of those 4 days. And the days that I didn't work there, one, it was because I had to have my fantasy football draft, and one, it was because it was Dan's brother's birthday. So, like, I didn't have an evening to myself. In fact, tomorrow I have the evening to myself, and Dan has rehearsal. So, I actually have it like to myself. So, I'm about to like
Amazing.
catch up on Big Brother and The Bachelor and ruin my life because I am 7 episodes behind on Big Brother. And I go, it's not that many. And Dan goes, 7 hours of TV is not that many. I go, you have no concept of how many
Well,
episodes of
first
the
of
show
all,
there is.
it's also like 45 minutes, so it's not a full seven
Oh no,
hours.
one of them is an hour and a half. Like the Wednesday
So it
episodes
makes
are,
up for the
yeah, yeah,
47
yeah. The Wednesday episodes are 90 minutes long.
Mm,
Um, and so no, it's legitimately over
that's
seven
so
hours.
annoying.
Um,
You can do
but I
that
was like,
tomorrow.
yeah, I was like, yeah, but I was like, but when they have 9 hours of TV like a week, that's really not that bad.
That's true.
Um, but it's funny because he says he hates all my reality TV, but whenever he gives me the remote and I put it on, he watches. He's very invested in Bachelor in Paradise this year.
Really?
Which, okay, Bachelor in Paradise did a wild thing. They're trying to do something to get the ratings. And so they changed the format of the show, and now they're actually competing for money.
Oh,
and they're like voting people off. Like you still have to have a couple, you still have to give a rose to someone, but like they're voting people off of the like out of the pad. Like it's like Bachelor
it's like
Pad and Bachelor and
Survivor.
Pa- yeah, but it's like the old original
I
Bachelor
don't know
Pad, like
Bachelor Pad.
oh, it was basically like Big Brother but for Bachelor contestants. Like you could choose love or money.
Mm.
Like but so they like took the old Bachelor Pad format and the Bachelor in Paradise format and now like so every week there's like a relationship test and it's like a communication test or a chemistry test and it's like something that shows whether they're actually compatible as a couple, but then like whoever wins automatically gets the first rose that week, but like then depending on how the contest works like they have to vote out a couple that they don't think is strong enough. Like it it
I heard
actually got
it's
kind of
insane.
interesting.
I heard it was supposed to suck too.
Well,
Because don't they mix the like Golden Bachelors with them too or
yeah.
something?
Yeah, the
Oh
Goldens
my
made
gosh,
it so
all
much better.
Goldens.
The Goldens made it so much better. One of the Goldens gave one of the young guys a rose just because she felt bad for him and she didn't like anybody. So then the numbers were all skewed and everybody was like fucking pissed because there was like too many young men and like the Golden women were like, there's not enough guys for like it's wild. It is unhinged and I am here for it.
I really want to know. So when we stayed in Seattle last year, the people we stayed with,
Yeah.
her friend was on the Golden Bachelor. And now I want to know if she's on Bachelor in Paradise, but I can't remember her name, so I don't know who
Oh,
she is. I know. She's like, yeah, I called her. I was talking to her about it. She's like, we kept checked in. We watched the whole season. It was so
oh my God.
crazy.
I love it. The new season of Golden Bachelor is coming soon, so
I saw that. I saw that. But
yeah.
it's still a guy, right?
Yeah, but there has been a girl. There was a girl.
I've missed a whole
You've been so
bunch of.
behind. No, the Golden
Yeah.
Bachelorette, the one with the girl, the guys on that show, chef's kiss. I'm obsessed with all the Golden
Wait,
men.
oh my
They're amazing.
goodness.
Amazing. The Golden men are amazing.
So I should find me a golden man that's rich.
Sure. I mean, if you want to also adopt his grandkids, like they're like,
Sure, why not? I like kids. I don't want to have my own, but I like them over there.
but yeah, so I'm just, getting through trying to figure out how to be a person now that summer's over and I hate it. So,
Love that for you. Love that for
yeah.
you.
How are you?
Um, hell anxious. Having a
Mm-hmm.
lot of anxiety time in my life right now. Uh, doing a lot of career introspection.
Mm-hmm.
Um, feeling a lot like an imposter most days of my life.
Yeah.
Um, and because I'm trying to, pay my bills while I do that,
Yeah.
um, I'm also not getting any time off or to myself really. Like, um,
Love
just
it.
had a lot of things came up on the days I was supposed to be home that
Mhm.
I couldn't really skip. Um, and so that's a bummer. So I had Friday night from like 6:30 until I fell asleep to myself.
Mhm.
And that's it in the past week and a half, maybe a little more. And so I called out of work today because I was like, I am not prepared for my interview this morning because I haven't been home to
Yeah.
do that. I'm mostly prepared now. I have some stuff I need to look up, but like I have all my
Yeah.
paperwork and stuff done. Um, and like my house is like means I need to mop, I need to wash dishes, I need to organize
Hmm.
things. Like
Yep.
it's just everything is falling apart in my life. Um, so I took off today and I did a lot of work and prepared for the podcast. And I'm having soup because that is
I
better
love
for
it.
you when you hate everyone.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's how I feel. I'm just a little over anxious, and I'm hoping this day was a good reset for me. I got up at a
Yeah.
reasonably early time. I think I got up at like 7 or some nonsense. Um, and I've been doing everything very slowly today. I read my book for a little bit. I'm reading Save Me Still by Mona Cass, and I also won the second book from Goodreads, so it'll come in eventually, probably any
Nice.
day now. But I'm almost finished with it, so I have like 80 pages left or something, so I might finish. So I took some time and read. I told you I got a diamond art puzzle. Did I tell you that last
Yeah,
week?
you told me you were going to, but then I saw
Hmm.
your Snapchat where you actually were doing it.
It is going to take me 3.5 years to finish it, but
Correct.
I
I didn't
do
I didn't
like it.
I didn't warn you that
Right.
I did not do one. I have one. One of my
Mm.
students made one for me as a Christmas present one year, but it did take her like the entire Christmas break to do it. So,
Yeah, I also learned because I'm always so anxious, my brain moves too fast. and I have to slow my brain down enough to focus to do this puzzle. So it took me a solid 45 minutes to just sitting there trying to do this puzzle before I could actually work on it. Like, or the art, I don't actually know what it's called. But like I literally sat there for 45 minutes and just was like, I'm just not gonna get up until I feel like I can do this. And then I did it
Wow.
for like 2 hours and was totally fine, totally chill, real relaxed vibes. A lot of front work though to get there. And so um we'll see how long it takes me. But I love it. I love it. I very much enjoyed it when I was doing it. I got the
Right.
first like layer done. I did not start with the small puzzle like you're supposed to, like normal people, because
Mm,
I'm me. But yeah, so I've just been anxious and trying to like fight imposter syndrome and fight anxiety, and I didn't sleep at 2 hours Friday night, so I'm trying to fight insomnia along with that. Like it's just a really fun time in life.
love it.
Thriving, ready for winter, sick of the heat. Do you have some encouraging words for me?
I sure do. And actually, it's not as messed up as it usually seems. So
Amazing.
we're all damaged, it seems. Some of us more than others. We carry the damage with us from childhood. Then, as grown-ups, we give as good as we get. Ultimately, we all do damage. And then we set about the business of fixing whatever we can.
Every single day. Yeah, it's
Not super
well,
encouraging, but yeah, we're all just trying our best to fix
exactly.
whatever we can.
We're thriving. Um, well, I've got some lighthearted content for you today.
Love
Uh,
it.
as we go into American Horror Story Coven, episode 5. It aired on November 6th, 2013. It was rated 8.2 out of 10. All of the number ones are still the same. Royals,
Of course.
Thor, John Grisham. Done.
Yeah.
Um, on this day, a lot of different things happened. Bill de Blasio was elected mayor of New York, which it was the 6th, so it may not have actually been on this day, but that's what showed up. Feels like a weird day.
Well, no, if election day was the day, but the Tuesday, then the Wednesday would be the day he was
Oh, this
officially
is
like,
Wednesday. I
yeah.
think it's not Wednesday. I don't know why. Yeah, this is the line. Um, Lady Gaga released the Art Pop album, which had applause on it. That is also the only song I know on the album. I went looked it up and I
Same.
was like, I don't know any of these songs. And somehow I missed this, but MIA was arguing with the NFL because apparently she like flipped off the cameras at some point in one of her shows, like or at the Super Bowl or something, and like they were trying to find her. I told this was 2013. I don't know. I mean, I guess I wasn't like football heavy. I was watching a lot of college football in 2013,
Yeah.
but like I have no memory of this in my
Me.
brain.
No, none.
But this happened that day as well. Um, Speaking of breaking news, George Kittle is apparently out for the next few weeks, which is real inconvenient for me. Um,
Is he though?
yeah,
I know he went out in the middle of the game yesterday, but everything I saw still said questionable to return next week.
they just
They
this
just
one
didn't.
just popped up. It said
Oh,
due to his hamstring injury, he's going to be sidelined for a few weeks. Wonderful.
gotta rearrange my team.
Same, same. Our director is Jeremy Podesca. I should learn to write better than I do. We know him. He wrote the Coat Hanger episode from season 2.
Mm,
Um, and then our writers are Jessica Schnauzer and John J. Gray, who we also know they're also returning, and our editors Adam Penn also returning. So no
yeah.
one knew there. Our star of the week is Josh Hamilton, who plays Hank Fox. I don't think I realized their last name was Fox till I was reading this.
I
But
didn't realize their last name was Fox until
the
um
next episode we
the
watched,
next episode we watched, not episode 5, episode 6.
yeah,
Yeah,
I only knew this because I saw it on the screen when I went to look him up to
cool.
get information about him. So he's known for eighth grade, Dark Skies, Alive, and Kicking and Screaming. I know him from Sweet Bitter, which is the show that no one else on the planet has seen but me.
Yep.
But I absolutely adore it. Heard it's a good book. Haven't read the book. Um,
Okay.
he is the co-founder of the Malapart Theater Company. I am unfamiliar with it. I didn't know if you were or not, but he is a
Nope.
co-founder. He did the audiobook narration for Riding the Bullet by Stephen King. Um, Not a king I know, not one of the ones I know.
No.
Um, and he is now on his Instagram. He's now currently doing a lot of photography stuff.
Oh,
Um, and a lot of his photography stuff has been liked by our bestie Joel Delafinte. So they
very
know each other.
nice. Okay.
And a lot of his like early stuff on Instagram is from he started by covering like a lot of the Walking Dead stuff.
Okay.
Um, so first several photos are Walking Dead related.
Okay.
Um, and then we start our episode, which is titled "Burn Witch Burn,"
Mhm.
and it's All Hallows Eve, 1833, to set the mood.
Yep.
And we start with a Lalari party where she's marrying off her daughters, kind of.
All right.
And this eligible bachelor has appeared to woo her oldest. And she's like, I want to know if you're brave enough to visit my chamber of horrors. But that's not what she meant. She meant this, she put together pieces from her chamber of horrors for her party. She didn't
Yeah.
take it to the actual chamber of
It
horrors.
was it was like a nice little Halloween haunted house. Trick or
Right.
treat. Creepy,
It's like
creepy.
what my mom did. She turned her shed into a haunted house and did like
Yeah.
eyeballs and intestines, but like not real ones.
No.
She did
Well,
do
yeah. Yeah.
grapes.
Grapes. I was like, yeah, like it must have taken you all day to peel those grapes.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. So she takes him through, and I did say, I'm sorry, I forgot about the eyeballs because there was eyeball stuff. I know how you love that.
I hate
Um,
it. I was at work.
I should have warned you because I watched this probably before you watched it today.
I no, I watched it last night at Shay's.
Oh, then I had no way of warning you.
Yeah. I love eyeballs so
I
much.
know. But it's okay, then we move on to intestines. Which she's also ripped out of
Which is
her
which is only marginally better than
uterus.
eyeballs.
Right. Um, and then the daughter is so mad. She's like, she runs everywhere. She's talking to like her ladies in waiting or whatever you want to call
No,
them.
those are her sisters.
No, because she's when she took them, she didn't put the sisters in there. She called them. She said they were her maids. Whenever she took them into the chamber of horrors.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, no, in the scene where they're in the room and they're talking about her, how awful their mom is, it's all the three girls are the sisters.
I thought those were her maids because she said, "Are like
No.
we're never gonna get married off." Because then she puts them in the chamber of horrors.
Yeah, but it's the three daughters because then they're like, oh,
Hmm.
who would ever expect the three orphans, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
It's the three daughters all thinking about how much
that
they
doesn't
hate
make
their fucking
sense.
mother.
They do all hate her, yes. And then she obviously found out about this and has chained them up in her chamber of horrors. And then we come to today,
But don't
and
worry,
this,
she loves her daughters so much, even though they're ugly.
yes, right, correct. Even with the ugliness. Um, and so we start where we left off now. We come back to today. She's standing at the door, and her zombie daughters are there. And then we go to the credits. What a time.
What a time.
So now we're back at the bar, also where we left off, and we just hear Cordelia's screaming. And Fiona panics because her daughter is screaming and runs across the bar, finds her, sees what's happened, starts yelling about an ambulance. They go to the hospital. And um, then we jump back over to the Robichaux home, and our guy Luke is trying to send everyone home. However, they're all zombies, and Marie Laveau says begin, and they just start ripping people to shreds.
Poor, poor Luke. Poor
I know.
sweet baby Luke.
Bless his heart. Um, so they are then trying to also kill Luke. And so then Lalari is trying to go outside to get to her daughters. And Queenie's like, or Zoe's like, you've lost your mind. Everyone's like, go away. And
Mm-hmm.
while she's encouraging her to be gone, Nam goes outside to go save Luke.
Well,
And
yeah.
so now she's escaped. And Zoe is just like running in circles. She's like, we cannot do this. This is insane. Which is 100% fair. The only time that Zoe's been the one that's right. Um, and so we go to the hospital, and Fiona is breaking into like the pharmacy. She's trying like taking all these medications and stuff, but she's also like not seeing clearly. Like everything is, we get really interesting visual effects with like her seeing in and out, and like it's dark and light, dark and light. And then she
Yeah.
like runs across this guy who has clearly escaped his bed and says, he's in the hall and he says, "You didn't throw the acid, but you may as well have." Which
Which that was
is
that was so weird to me. Like I know she was losing it, but like that moment in particular, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
because she abandoned her before now. And so, like, it is fair that really, because she wouldn't have gone to all these other people. She wouldn't have gone to Marie Laveau for help. She wouldn't have gone to Hank for help. She wouldn't have gone to Myrtle. Like, she wouldn't have gone to other people if her mom hadn't abandoned her for all those
No,
years.
no, and I totally get that. I get the
Yeah.
self-loathing. It was just the moment of yelling at the man that I was
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah. So,
all of the rest of her self-loathing rabbit hole and all of the other things that she did, I totally got what was happening. It was just that one moment where I was like, what did that poor, clearly drugged out man do to you?
yeah, no, that's totally fair. But she's not done. Don't worry. We're going into this mother's room who's had a stillborn. And she asked her, she's like, was it born alive or is it stillborn? She was like, it's stillborn. She was like, I can't see it, but nobody ever told me if it was a girl or a boy. So Fiona's like, it's a girl. And she's like, oh, cool. And she's like, now I'm going to hand her to you and you're going to talk to her. And I was like, that has to be the most heart-wrenching thing.
Yeah,
And I
no,
was
that's
like,
that's really, really, really not cool. I
yeah,
was
I was like,
not.
this is going to be really upsetting for everyone watching the show because I can't remember how it turns out. I was like, I don't remember if she brings. I was because my first thought was like, I don't remember if she actually brings the child back to life or if it's like a zombie child from Marie Laveau. And I couldn't remember. She does in fact bring the child back to life. It is a happy
Yes,
ending. Everything is okay. Um,
as okay as
but
it can be, I guess.
sure, sure. Um, but yeah. So the baby comes back to life, and then we're back at the Robichaux house, and Zoe's still running around outside. She's now running outside with Pam to distract them because Nan has drugged Luke to the car to try and like get him out of harm's way. And obviously that's not the solution.
Correct.
So then Lalaurie is upstairs and she tells Queen to stay in bed while she goes downstairs. She's like, I'm gonna fix everything. I'm gonna get you something to drink, I'm gonna eat some water, like everything's gonna be fine. And then she sees her zombie daughter Bokita out the window and lets her in like a moron. So she so she's talking to her and she's like, I know you're in there. I know you recognize the mother that bore you. And I was like, homegirl, you might want her to not recognize the mother who bore you because that might make her
Right.
more likely to kill you, which is in fact what happens. She does show
Yeah.
an ounce of recognition and then immediately try to kill Madame Mallory. And I was like, I don't know what you
Hmm.
expected. This is what's happened. Um,
Yeah.
And then Queenie, of course, hears the commotion, sends Spalding to go check. And then she hears Spalding's like groan of like being attacked. And so she comes out and sees Spalding on the floor and Burkina there. And yeah, sorry. I was just telling you a story from my brain. Um, and so Queenie, she comes in and Queenie's like trying to attack her. She's trying all the regular stuff, and she does realize she can attack her, she can cause all this harm, but it doesn't actually do anything. Like
Yeah.
she goes to cut her throat, and it's like black smoke comes out. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
die. However, the lorry impels her from behind, and she does in fact seem to die. And then she's upset because she said it's the only kind she's ever shown. Uh, and a lot of people apparently have issues with how they've done the zombies because, like, they're like sometimes they bleed and sometimes it's black smoke and like they can be shot, but like they weren't killed until they were impaled. And I'm like, have you ever heard a fantasy story? Like sometimes you have to impale them with silver to kill them. Like shooting them isn't gonna do it. this
Yeah.
isn't what I'm questioning. Like, out of
No.
all of the things, this was fine
No.
for me.
The logic in this show has never and will never be something I question because it doesn't have any.
Right. And it's also like, I didn't even think it was that unheard of, like the way it happened in the show. I was like, this is it's normal for one thing to kill something and another thing not to kill it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. That so I watched the extra. They have like an extra scene, and they're not scene, but like extra. What's the word I'm looking for? Material, extra content, and it's
Yeah.
basically behind the making of the zombies. And they did a lot to make them look more real and to like make them move certain ways, and it was
Yeah.
it was kind of interesting. It was I'm not a zombie person, so it wasn't as interesting for me. But other people, if you like the special effects and stuff, they talked a lot about the makeup and the like movement and stuff. So if you happen to have the DVD and you're interested in something like that,
All right.
that's the one. Um, so we go back to Luke and Nan, and Luke is in the cart, and he's like, "I'm bleeding out." And so she starts carrying him back to the house, which is where they should have gone in the first place. I don't know why she left the house, or went away from the house when she got him. Um, and then Zoe comes out all Bruce Campbell. Like, this
Yep.
girl is just like straight up Army of Darkness. And she is taking out zombies left and right. And so Nan and Luke make it inside. And then the chainsaw stops working and she like falls over. And like the one remaining zombie comes to get her. And she just says, be in your nature. And both the zombie and Marie Lilla fall out. And she says, I don't know what just happened, but there's some new and more power, greater power in the witches over there.
Yeah.
Ta-da. We go back to the hospital. And Hank arrives, and here's where I had an issue. He arrives and says, I drove 4 hours from Lake Charles. Now, last he told everyone he was in Baton Rouge. Those are not the same place.
No.
And as far as I can tell, it wasn't that he lied to her about where he was. He just lied to her about what he was doing.
Right.
So that's a little bit of an issue with like if you're doing a South Louisiana show, just pick the right. Like if you put one city in one, just stay in that city. Don't try and change it because
Right.
they're very different places, and they
Right.
are very far apart. Like Lake Charles is about 4 hours from here, whereas Baton Rouge is not. But
Right.
I was just like little consistency would be nice. Um,
That's so cute that you think that consistency would ever
I
be a
know,
part of a show.
I know. God forbid. Um, and Fiona just goes off on him. She's like, "You are the scum of the earth, the bottom of my shoe." Like
Yep.
she is ravaging him and she hates him. Which I mean, to be fair, he sucks. Um,
Yep.
but she is just not having. And he is like and then he gets like so taken aback that she's permanently blind.
Yeah, no, that's
And I
that.
was like, you would you rather her dead? I think that was
Right.
your alternative at this point. Like your alternative is if this didn't blind her, it may have killed her. Like so calm down. But then he in turn tries to go off on Fiona. And the nurse steps in and she's like, I don't care, one of you leave.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, but this has to stop. So Fiona's like, I will give you 15 minutes. Say whatever you have to say, do whatever you have to do. But once I'm back, you're gone, whether by your hand or mine. She said, I kind of hope it's the latter. I was like, fair. Um, so then he of course tries to talk to his wife, his lovely wife, Cordelia. And he's like, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm never going anywhere. Like, I love you so much. Yada, yada, yada. And then he grasps her hand and she suddenly awakens and sees everything. And we learn that she started having visions. She can no longer see with her eyes, but now she sees with everything else. And she sees all of his redhead escapades that have just occurred. Although we don't see him kill her, but she sees them
No.
like sleeping together. Yeah, She sees them sleeping together.
No, that's not till the next episode.
Mm-mm. This happens here. She sees the full story next time, but she sees him
Oh,
sleeping with
I didn't think she
here.
saw that. I thought she just like
Yeah.
freaked out because she could see. I didn't see the vision because she doesn't
Hmm.
ask him about it until the next time she
Right,
touches
because we
him.
don't see them again after this. But
Mm.
that really awkward headboard scene, that's what she sees this time.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was the
that's
only time.
I saw that in the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, she sees a lot more in the next episode, but that was the final scene of this one,
Okay.
of that situation. And then we go back to Robo Show, and they're burning all of the corpses to purify, of course, because that's how you do,
Yep.
you burn to purify. We do learn Luke is okay. He is asleep in Nan's bed. I mean, he's not great, but he's alive and he's healed.
Yeah.
And Nan's like, I want to keep him here till he's healed. Like, I don't want to send him back. And Zoe's like, I don't know. I think we should just let him go. And Fiona's like, absolutely not. She's like, the correct choice is to not send him back home to his Bible thumping mom, but rather we keep him here, we heal him up, and then we get it. Whatever. Like, this is the right choice. And Nan's like, excellent, and takes off. She's like, on it. Um, and then she starts complimenting Zoe, and she's like, you did all the right things. You basically saved our entire coven. Like, without the choices you made, we probably all would not be. I mean, Fiona was there, but like the rest of them wouldn't be there, basically.
Right.
Um, and then Lore is coming out to grieve because obviously her daughters have died again.
Again. Yeah.
Um, and then the council is back. And they are there to admonish Fiona. And they start telling her that they're abdicating her from her throne because she has abandoned the coven. She has not taught anyone anything. She is just going about her own. She's not been any help for anyone, and she's actively fighting against them. Like, they're just like, you've taken all the wrong steps. And she says, cool, cool, fine. However, there's some things you need to know before that happens.
Yeah.
She says, Myrtle is actually the one who's destroyed Cordelia. She said she's been trying to take her from the very beginning. She tells her, like, she tells the council, she said, you may think that I've done something with Madison. However, Myrtle was also in town, and they were like, um, excuse me?
They were like, hold up. You were where? What?
Right. And she's like, yeah, she was using her alias. I wrote it down, Jennifer Woolley, which is from
Yeah.
I've already forgotten. But she was using this alias and staying at this hotel and had basically her own little murder board trying to like get Fiona on something.
Yep.
And we learned she's been trying to take down Fiona this whole time. And then she pulls off her glove and there's burns on her hand. And then they say, what are we gonna do? And the woman that no one cares
Pem-
exists
Pembroke.
is like, yeah, Pembroke is like, we gotta burn the witch. And Leslie Jordan is like, yep, 100%. And Myrtle's just like, all right. And she tells, like, she's just like, I guess that's that. So they go to this big empty field on the side of a cliff, it looks like, just in the middle of nowhere. No one's going to find them. And they string her up. She said she's not going to fight. She said there's no point at this point. Um, and she asked for last words. And she says, I'd rather burn than boil because she said they were all like toads being boiled by Fiona. And
Yeah.
Fiona throws her cigarette and lights her on fire. And my next question is we see everyone there. How does Nan not know what's what? Like, she reads everyone's mind and has no idea. And I mean, like, I get that Fiona's the supreme, so maybe she can't read her mind.
Well, my thought was that the only person who would know that this wasn't true, the only people who would know that this isn't true is Myrtle and Fiona. Myrtle's thoughts are just going to be that she's innocent. But like you can think that all you want. You can keep
Right.
fighting in your head that I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. Even if you did something wrong. Like there's a difference between being like weirdly, I was just talking to my students about this earlier. There's a difference between being doing something wrong and knowingly doing something wrong. Like
Yeah.
so Myrtle could be like stubbornly depicting her innocence all she want. And at this point, I don't think Fiona's powerful enough that she could probably block Nan from hearing
Right.
her thoughts. And B, Fiona's smart enough that she's not going, because I don't think, so from what I can tell about Nan's power is that it's not like a truth serum. It's
Right.
just, it's more like Edward's power in Twilight, where
Mhm.
it's literally just reading the surface thought that the person's having.
Right.
So Fiona's not going to actively think things around Nan that she doesn't want Nan to know.
Right. And I 100% agree. And I think even if she was thinking, I think she could block Nan.
Yeah,
However, we learn in the next scene that Queenie is worried about what's going on. And she spent all this time wondering if she framed someone who was innocent or not. And you could tell on her face that's what she's thinking at this burning. And so, how did Nan not hear her?
Nan
Because
is
the
so
next scene,
Nan is so preoccupied with Luke that she can't hear shit.
I know men and they're the worst. Because then we do go to the next scene with Queenie and Fiona, and she says, "Did I help you frame an innocent woman or a guilty one?" And Fiona's just like, "None of us are innocent," which is fair. That's fine. And we learned while they were in the council, Queenie put her own hand in grease or acid or
Hmm.
whatever to burn and calls the burns on Myrtle's hand.
Yeah.
That then is what she used to show. But she's panicking. And so Fiona, as she does, tells her basically, like, don't worry about this. Everything's fine. Also, you're probably the next Supreme. Like, you're so smart and you're so strong. It's probably
Which is so
you.
funny because she clearly does not believe that.
Right. Because it's clearly, like, not Queenie. Like, she's
Right.
not that strong at what she does.
No.
Um, I mean, she's very good at her one thing, but, like, we're not seeing a lot of other things happening with her right now.
No.
But she believes it because it's what she wants, and that's what happens. You believe things you
Yeah.
want to happen.
Yeah.
And so she's manipulated and off on her way. Um, so then we go to Spalding, who is just dancing around in his room in his baby doll outfit. And he sprayed everything because Maddie's decomposing at this point. And so not great smells, I'm sure, all around. And so he goes to pull her out of this chest he put her in. But she's decomposing, and so he just breaks her arm off. Like, that's fine. That's cool,
That
I guess.
that's
No
whatever.
problem. Uh, and then we pop over to Misty Day because we haven't seen her yet this episode, and she wanders upon the scene where Myrtle's body was burned, and she runs the wild dogs off who are actively eating Myrtle's body. And she gets down on top of her and brings her back to life by holding her hands over her body, and she opens her eyes, looking a little bit like Darth Maul, but
A lot of it like Darth Maul.
yeah, but she is not any longer dead. And that's where we end. So, what are your thoughts?
I mean, God, what are my thoughts? Everyone's an idiot.
100%.
Just like not one person made a decision this episode that wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
And Zoe is fucked a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Uh because she's clearly actually the next Supreme. And Marie Laveau is not gonna handle that real well.
But it's also becoming a little clear that Fiona is also noticing that with all the compliments she gave her after the zombie night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is a big turning point in a lot of things.
It was, but it also felt like nothing happened. Like, you know what I
I
mean?
know.
Like
Hmm.
it was a big episode in terms of like the story shifting direction, but I genuinely feel like I did not learn anything in that episode
Yeah.
that I didn't already know. It
Hmm.
was kind of not my favorite.
Yeah. It also isn't my favorite, but again, I'm not a zombie person, so I didn't care about that part. A lot of people I think like that part because it's rated a little bit higher than some of the others.
Which is
Um,
so weird to me. I don't know.
and I think because like a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people like the zombie stuff. They like the horror, the like, which I like horror, but they like the um actual action scenes, I guess, more of it. Whereas like spoiler, the next episode is rated a little bit lower, and I liked it a lot better.
I
Um,
agree. I think I like the next episode a lot better. I think
and I
it's
think it
way
has to
more
do
interesting.
right. It has a lot more to do with like the story and the plot. This is not that. So, and I mean, like, I don't hate this episode. It's just
No,
it's not my
I
highest
don't
rated
hate it
one.
either. And like I enjoyed it while I was watching it, but it wasn't
Yeah,
until like I sat down to think about like what would I say about this episode that I realized I don't really have anything to say.
right.
It didn't bring in like a new historical like thing. Like a lot of the other episodes have like we
Hmm.
had the Madame Lalaurie introduction, we have the Marie Laveau introduction, we have like the history of the Salem witches. Like it didn't bring in anything new.
And I really
Um,
thought that like some of the locations were, so I tried to look up like when she's like she stayed at the Chat Noir, and I was like, oh, that must be a place that was downtown at some point. No, there's a place in Paris that was called the Chat Noir, but it was not the same. But there
yeah,
never was in New Orleans. And like I tried to look it up, and I was like, I like, was just like Fiona mentioned Le Chat Noir in um
yeah.
passing at the council, and it was like they never said that American Horror Story, and I was like, I heard them say that. I had my like subtitles on. They said
Yes,
that.
I
Like
also had my subtitles on. They did in fact say that,
but
but
I googled it three different ways. They were like, they never said that in American Horror Story. I was like, okay, fine.
okay, well, right.
Yeah, so like even the stuff that I was like, maybe this had some history behind it that I just don't know about. No, it doesn't.
No,
So
and so like it didn't have that aspect to it. Like I said, there wasn't a big reveal.
mhm,
Like, okay, great. Spalding still has the dead body, and
right.
Marie is concerned that the witches are getting power, and um Cordelia is never going to get her eyesight back, and
And I mean, I guess the visions were a big reveal, but we didn't. But we just had those quick three flashes of scenes. Like we didn't
of
get
scenes, and it didn't really
real
connect.
deep.
It didn't really
Yeah,
connect or explain what was happening. And we didn't like. I don't know. I really didn't feel like it was. And like even the fighting off of the zombies, like sure, that was kind of big. And like obviously the moment when Zoe is able to like tell them to stop is kind of big because you're like, oh shit, like
yeah.
that's. But
And we have our
um,
homage to Army of Darkness, which is fine. Like,
yeah, but it's
but it's the
just
Halloween episode. It's just this is just what it is. You get the dark, super
yeah,
cliche horror style scene, and this is
yeah,
that. We got our zombies for Halloween.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, I agree. There's not too much that really happened, even though some things did.
yeah.
So like I said, I don't have any trivia because there was nothing really. Other than Army of Darkness, which really is in your face too, but I did say it already.
All right.
Um, who do you want to punch?
Um, this one was not the easiest because I really didn't. Everybody was kind of shitty, but also everybody kind of like I said, it didn't wasn't really that exciting of an episode. So I
Mhm.
did pick Fiona.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't really have any justification.
That's
Just
fair. Um, well, I picked Madame Lalaurie because she tried to let her daughters in anyways, even though they were trying to kill everyone.
that's fair.
Um,
That's totally fair.
and I understand it was because she was they're her daughters. I get it. I understand her motivation.
Right.
It was still stupid. Um, yeah. So who's
Which
your pick?
I almost picked Luke and Nan for the same reasons, but
Yeah, yeah, fair, fair. But yeah, who's your MVP?
this one was difficult as well. But I did go with Zoe
Okay.
because she did get everything under control. So
Yeah, no, that's super fair. Um, I a little. I don't know that this is the right pick, but it's still my pick. I'm gonna go with Fiona. Um,
Okay.
because while a lot of the stuff she did for the wrong motivation, she did do her best to try and protect Cordelia. She does know there's something wrong with Hank, even though she doesn't know exactly what. She did get the house in order when she got back, even if it may not have been the right way or correct. And she is keeping everything from going off the rails and being separated from the coven by killing Myrtle, even if that wasn't necessarily the right way to do it. So, like, good things for bad reasons, I guess.
I guess. I
But,
guess.
but yeah, because I probably would have picked Zoe, but you picked Zoe, so
Yeah, I
that's
don't
not who I
know.
picked. Yeah. Well, if you have thoughts or any of those things, you can email us, deathandaliens@gmail.com. You can find us on all of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can find me at CECloud13.
And you can follow me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And we will see you next American Horror Story for a really storied episode. But in the
Yes.
meantime, we'll see you for SG1 episode 8.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye.